Brendan Franke. We'll start on your left in the second row with Pete, and then we'll go to Seth.
I guess, first of all, what was it about Indiana that attracted you? What made you decide this is the best fit for you?
When I was on my visit here, this was the only visit that I went on. It was the only one I needed. I got here, it felt just like home, just like I was back in Nebraska hanging out. So it was a really easy decision at the end of the day when I came on my visit. Loved the coaching staff, really like an elite atmosphere. So it wasn't very hard to make this decision.
Standing up with Seth, and then go to Daniel.
Yeah, just this fall camp, what have been the biggest goals for you, biggest things you're trying to work on?
Being as old as I am, sixth year of college football, just trying to stay healthy, As I get older, I have to stretch more, spend more time in the training room, stuff like that.
We'll go to Daniel and then Joe.
Played soccer in high school, right?
Absolutely.
When did you play football? How did that whole process unfold?
As a junior, about halfway through the season, I had a couple guys come up to me and more so tell me that I was going to go kick for the football team. So I was like, all right, cool. So then halfway through my junior year, I started kicking again. I had when I was way younger, but yeah.
Morningside College, 2,500 people, right? How was that experience?
It honestly felt just like I was still playing high school ball when I was there. And then obviously when I jumped up to Big Ten ball straight from that, it was a really cool, awesome experience to be able to see the passion that, although it's such a small school, how much weight it carries, being proud to be a Mustang when I was there.
Standing left with Joe, and then go to Zach B.
It's your fifth school now in college. I mean, how comfortable are you with these changes that you've made? Obviously, starting at Morningside and Big Ten, been around at some Sun Belt teams as well.
Yeah, the first two were really easy because, I was real close to home. When I made that jump over to Georgia Southern, that was obviously a struggle those first 2 months when you really kind of got to get in there. But everywhere I've been, every football program I've been to, they've really made sure that I got in with a group of guys that were outstanding people to be around. So everywhere I've gone, I've had outstanding support from the guys that were already on the team moving in. So really the transition was never that difficult, and I just embraced the change,
Go to the right with Zach B, and then Colin.
You played goalie when you played soccer, right? What are the similarities between goalie and being a kicker?
Really, it kind of depends on the way that you want to, the way you want to style yourself as a kicker. Being a soccer player and being a goalie, I basically kick every kickoff and every field goal like it's a goal kick. So it was a really easy transition for me, just naturally being able to swing like that given my soccer background.
Colin and Sammy.
Kicking being a mentally taxing position, how do you kind of deal with that and stay within yourself, in practice, taking reps, but also roaming the sidelines during games?
Really, I try to, at the end of the day, this is a game and you're supposed to have fun. So I take it as seriously as I need to make sure I'm dialed in. And, we just got to be, our coach always tells us to focus, not be concentrated, but be focused and not overthink. And that's the biggest thing, because the more you think about it, the worse it's going to go. So you just let your leg do the work and it'll all go the way it's supposed to.
We'll go to Sammy and then Daniel.
You have a touchback rate of over 80%. What goes into that? Is there a new strategy with being able to fair catch and get the ball at the 20? How do you limit returns or kicks out of bounds?
I think one of the things is just being consistent in your routine. I've gone through the years trying to shorten up my routine, and just to find a spot where you can consistently hit the ball 75 yards is really my goal. And so basically, yeah, it's just there's nothing really to it. It's just some guys, you can train leg speed and stuff like that. I was fortunate enough to not have to do a whole lot of that, but having a strong core is something that I would tell any young kicker to get a better ball.
We'll go Daniel on your left, and then with Zach B.
As you kind of reflect, you go from a college of 2,500 people to here. What have you learned about just you and just how you're wired in that time?
I definitely figured out that I'm not really a person who listens to the noise. Everybody's going to be they obviously chirp a lot more at Big Ten level than they do at NAIA, but just moving through the differences in just crowd size and whatnot, I've learned just to have thick skin. You're out there for a reason. They're in the stands for a reason. That's the way it's going to be.
All right, last one to Zach B.
In high school, when it came to deciding football or soccer, kind of what was that process and decision-making like for you?
COVID actually made it really easy for me. I didn't get a senior soccer season, which is what I was really banking on, getting my recruitment. I didn't plan to play football until well into my senior year, which is probably why I ended up at one of those smaller schools, didn't do a whole lot of reaching out. But I wouldn't change this path I chose for anything. You know, I still love soccer. It's still like probably one of my passions, but at the end of the day, football is life. So
Thanks, Brendan. Appreciate you.
absolutely.